Hello out there in Rando Land. I'm Neon Tiger, and welcome to yet another match here in our Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament. I'm Neon Tiger, of course, and I'm joined by JP tonight. How you doing, JP?
Doing all right. We are getting into the closing part of the group stage. Checked that out actually earlier today. We've only got 13 spots left up for grabs.
Yeah, and this is another one of them in Group T. This is game number 3 between jkoper and Julloninja here. Two very good runners. Very interested to see how this shakes out because, boy, this is a rematch from a earlier bracket where Jullo 2-0'd jkoper, but now we're going game 3 with a spot on the line, so this is about as intense as it gets. Somebody's going home.
And it's already been intense to start this series. If you haven't watched any of the previous 2 games, you missed out.
You did. There were quite a few little adventures. We were just kind of joking. I think we were joking about doing a prediction about where the fire rod's where we get fire rod to start or not, because fire rod's been kind of hiding quite a bit between these last 2 matches. Hopefully we get an early fire rod for everyone because they deserve it at this point.
Yeah, I think it's been something like we've had the fire rod for maybe between both these runners between both games, like half an hour total. That's like I said, both runners, both games. So
I hope so. Uncle's just going to get the ice rod instead.
Well, the ice rod could be used as a weapon in escape. It can one-shot some enemies.
Right. It does. It one-shots one set of enemies and it doesn't do much against the other one. So
if they get the fire rod from Uncle, I think
please.
This is just gonna be the funniest starts.
Rando gods, please give us this. That's all we're asking for.
1 in 7 shot.
Oh no. Burna. Aw. Well. That's just kind of mean. Uncle said he's going out for a pack of smokes. He left us the ice rod. Hey!
There you go.
Beautiful. Okay, that might be the best 1-minute start to this match, to a match I've seen in quite some time. Oh man, fire rod in the second chest after the first chest after Uncle. Oh boy. Okay. Well, we have both our rods this time. There will be no fire rod hunt tonight.
And we should expect another pendant turtle rock at this point.
Yes. I would assume you're going to Turtle Rock at some point getting all of these things for some reason. Go mode items on Trinex. Why not? And go mode item is a mushroom, which leads to a massive chain of things you have to go get. But yeah. Oh, and you can see there jkoper using the ice rod and Julloninja using the fire rod to kill the guard. And that's kind of
it's a little heads up because jkoper saves a small bit of time not having to wait for the guard to burn.
Right. And like we mentioned, the blue guards, I believe, are the ones that are susceptible to dying by the ice rod, and the green guards are not. So jkoper's going to have to switch here to something else, probably the fire rod. Yep, just saw him hot swap there.
Okay.
Well, this is an interesting seed, but JP, one of the things that I always note with seeds that are very item dense, like useful item dense this early, they tend to go dry at some point a lot quicker than you might think, and that's always the problem, is when they go dry and now you're like, okay, I'm just opening chests and getting junk. Here's the map, of course. Gonna pull out Zelda just as a standard hard mode seed for those who might be brand new to understanding what the tournament is, or maybe you just forgot. Standard hard mode. So standard escape, standard start here, which is the full escape sequence with Zelda. We're gonna take her all the way to Sanctuary through the sewers, and hard mode means that we have a slightly smaller item pool. Most of the upgradable items that are not necessarily required. So by upgradable items that are required, that would be the mitts primarily. A lot of the extra upgrades are not in here. There's 3 sword upgrades, no mail upgrades, only 1 shield upgrade, and 14 hearts instead of the usual full 20. And of course, there we go. Seeing them all walk up to escape here to the sewers. This is standard procedure. And
Yeah, pretty standard opening. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say one of the things we'll be looking for, JP, I think, is a bomb drop somewhere here. It's the one thing we haven't seen on either side so far. And you want that bomb drop because you want to get to those 3 chests that are right in the sanctuary basement there. Not really seeing a whole lot in the hookshot prize kill pool here. Getting a lot of hearts. That's why we're seeing Jullo and jkoper go through and try and kill as many of these rats and snakes as possible. Not only because they get in the way, but because they want to see if they can get a bomb drop. Yeah, there we go.
Rats are in the bomb pool.
Nice.
And Julloninja's going to farm some, which is a good idea. Yeah, farm to the 4 bomb drop, and now you got 7.
Yeah, that's perfect. Perfectly done. Oh, and there's a bomb for jkoper. Gets 2. We'll probably try and get some more here. See if we can farm. Nope. Yes, this is win or go home. This is a game 3 here. It's a best of 3 series, so whoever wins this is going to be moving on to the next round of the tournament. There's Ether. There's the first lift upgrade. Rigorous power glove, and got ourselves a little bit of cash on the way out. Big 20. So with that being this early, that would have to be a meal upgrade.
Yeah, I don't think of anything else.
Yeah, so that's one of the things too to keep in mind is that if you get all of the unlockable upgrades for an item that is hard mode limited, and you find another upgrade, they're in the pool, but they turn into big 20s. So the randomizer will automatically detect that and go ahead and just change that to a 20 out of the chest instead.
There's our map check. I think I saw Red Eastern Pendant Desert and regular Crystal at Hero.
I think that's what I saw as well. Definitely saw Pendant Desert. So jkoper will probably give a quick check here. And both have a pretty good time in sync. I'm sure we'll see.
Oh, and Jullo's going to continue his unique routing and go straight up the mountain.
Not a bad idea. So this is going to be done in the dark without the lamp. But this is one of the easier dark rooms to get through, and I think jkoper going to be going up there too.
No, he's going to check Aga.
Yep. Ooh, bomb pole from the tree there. That's nice. And some extra hearts. But yeah, as Jullo makes it through the maze with the old man, pretty easy to do. Ooh!
Okay. So we're going to be finding a lamp before Dark World access.
Yes, we will. Moon Pearl, kind of vanilla-ish area. It's in the right part of the world, just not inside of Tower of Hera.
Oh, and jkoper is going to go up the mountain too. They're both skipping CAC to start.
Does that actually count as French vanilla though? I think it's it's like kind of like a pseudo French vanilla. Like the really cheap stuff you get at Walmart.
Mm-hmm. So for Dark World access, we just need a second glove or a hammer.
Yes, indeed. I think the runners probably would prefer hammer right now. Though, well, at least Jullo probably does, because without that second upgrade, you could And you could do Super Bunny Cave, and that's about it. But yeah, you would. No, wait, you got the Moon Pearl. We could do a whole Dark Side.
Yeah.
I'm thinking here, thinking one step behind. But anyways, Paradox Cave. Both runners going to be doing that. Bunch of junk in the bottom chest.
It would be quite interesting if they found mitts up here. Could see a sub 10 hookshot cave.
That would be surreal. I have never seen that before.
20 piece of heart.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sword. Okay, that's a good pull.
Yeah, Paradox Cave at least giving us one useful thing. But yeah, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, that there's that junk coming into play. You just start running into things that the game places because it has to place things in chests from the pool.
You can see the island, just a piece of heart. We've got one more thing you can check up here, and that is Spiral Cave. jkoper, yep, he cannot bomb jump because he only has one heart.
Mm-hmm. Gotta go the long way.
I'd almost be tempted to skip Spiral Cave if I had to go the long way here, but it's always good to get it out of the way because it's something you don't want to isolate. I've seen runners isolate and it's bad. Wouldn't have been bad this time, though.
Right. It's just that fear of the unknown. You just want efficiency in your routing. And just in general, you want efficiency in your routing for a good rando run and a pretty good time. Execution plays a huge part in good rando times, but routing really is like kind of the secret sauce of being able to check multiple locations and do so quickly. That doesn't necessarily always require a whole lot of execution and technique. It's just kind of planning your trip.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes, like you said, it's just, sometimes it's just like, do you hold on this one location until you get some other stuff you can do around it? Or do you route it in right now, even though it's a little less efficient, so you don't have to isolate it later? Little things like that.
Yep, because you don't want these one-off locations that are hard to get to. Catfish, Agita, things that are not going to be top of mind when you're 40 minutes into a seed.
All right, so jkoper's off the mountain. He is doing the cack skip just like Julloninja. I've never seen both runners skip cack this long. I've seen one runner skip cack for a while, but I've never seen both.
I haven't either, JP. I kind of wonder if both of them are thinking the same thing, which is, it's game 3. Maybe I need to take some risks here. As cape, piece of heart, 300 rupees, another 300, and another piece of heart. So we're kind of still in that junk phase, but we do have the cape now.
Now things get interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because Lamp opens up Aga,
Yes.
or Hammer or Mitts opens up just straight Dark World.
Yes, indeed it does. But as I was saying before, we had those checks. You're kind of thinking maybe both runners are thinking the same thing here, that, I got to take some checks, maybe do some different routing to win this game, do something that maybe I wouldn't normally do. It just so happens that the situation is they're both doing the same kind of alternative strat based on what they've got.
To be honest, I was thinking that Julloninja was going to go so far into an out of the ordinary route that he was gonna mess with everybody so much by doing a normal route.
That would be the perfect plan. They think I'm gonna go all over the place. I'm just gonna do the normal thing and tease them. They'll never see it coming.
With Moon Pearl, we can do some Zora area checks and check that waterfall.
I suspect, Jullo's gonna set up the fake flipper here with the Moon Pearl in hand. We'll see some checks. Maybe not Hobo right now, but we'll at least get the island. And nicely done there. First try from Julloninja. Maybe he is gonna go do Hobo. Cool.
Yeah, Jullo, he's been unconventional, but he's been thorough.
Right. So that would make sense. That would be the kind of play you would make, and of course, jkoper always also said didn't quite get on the first try, but there we go, second try, gets the fake flipper as well.
jkoper, he skipped hobo last time, so I wouldn't be surprised if he skips it again. Oh, no, he's gonna do hobo too.
Yep. And Jullo getting the slightly harder fake flipper, which is where you jump back out as you transition out from under the bridge. A little bit more difficult to pull off, but still with a fair amount of practice, you can do it pretty efficiently.
Yeah, there's a very specific pixel you have to line up with. There's like a little corner of grass you can see. You line up with that, and you can jump in from there.
Exactly. Yeah, that precise location is what makes it a little more difficult. It's not just the screen transition. It's it's getting it just right. And Jullo, of course, setting up the water walk now by swimming back out, getting the bombs and the heart piece and our full heart container. And this will also give Jullo water walk into Zora's domain.
So we still, after Zora, we still have Wolfcack, and we still have Saha Eastern.
There's a red boomerang up on that ledge there, which will not be appearing in this film. And let's see what the big fish has today.
Bombs.
Junk. Junk. $500 for some junk. So question in chat, Nico Ram's asking, how long does Aga take usually? Usually it's not too much of a problem. It's a couple minutes fight. Just most of it's just the climb really, and then you just have to do the Aga 1 fight.
Yeah, and I don't expect either runner to take that risk until they get the lamp. Mostly, partially because the Moon Pro's not unlocked until you find the lamp anyway, but partially because Aga Tower without lamp is really rough. I think we're finally going to see these runners diverge.
Yes, I believe so. One to Eastern Palace, that would be Julloninja going to check the back. That's the Hospitalist Hut. And jkoper is going to be going to finally do Kakariko. Well, actually, it might not be too bad for Jullo. We'll have that bottle, which could open up an additional check at Sick Kid if jkoper doesn't find one. Yeah, Jullo's going to go do Lost Woods Kakariko now as well. Okay, mushroom spot, just a piece of heart.
If they find the other glove or hammer here, they can go straight to Dark World.
Yeah, Castle Tower without the lamp is really rough. Even if you don't like, so JD Silver gonna mention that in chat. Even if you don't fall in the pit, you do lose a lot of time. It's just such a slog. It's such a pain in the butt.
Yeah, even if it's the right move. Now, for these runners, they decide to make that play early. They do have Fire Rod at least, and with Fire Rod, it's not so bad. With Fire Rod, as long as you know where the torches are in a couple of the dark rooms, you'll be fine.
Yeah, a lot of the early dark rooms aren't too bad, especially the ones in the Eastern Palace. But there's a few, especially some of the ones in the Dark World, are kind of tricky. And just a piece, lots of hearts so far. Big 50, and the mighty green rupee.
So as you said early, we get a bunch of items right away, and then it just slows down.
Yeah, because the way the randomizer works is it kind of uses the logic to place the important items that you need for progression, and then it kind of starts to place the other things that you don't really need. So it puts everything somewhere, just a matter of where it's at. Ooh, there's a bow.
Well, now we can go to Eastern.
Yep. Got some arrows for it, And a rupee, and a rupee. Well, we got a lot of money at least. Very healthy seed. Very healthy seed. Alright, chicken hut time. What's in the chicken hut chest? Some bombs. Beautiful.
Yeah, this Kakariko skip so far is looking like the right call because, well, the bow was good. Beyond that, though, it's been pretty empty.
Yeah. Oh, and jkoper actually, I think, is going to go to Eastern. Going to skip the maze race entirely and just say, heck with it. Let's go to Eastern here. Jullo's going to have an extra check. Going to Sick Kid as well. So Jullo's not going to save and quit quite so quickly. Yeah, and there's a Sick Kid check. So, bottle in hand. What does our small friend have? Another sword. Okay.
Not an insignificant pickup there.
Nope, not insignificant at all. Not necessarily anything that's going to hurt jkoper right now, but yeah, that's a nice find from for Jullo. Library bookshelf. This is the big 20. And now the only possible really bad thing that might be left here is a maze race, and it is big 300. So jkoper dodges that being something that was useful and needed.
So we're gonna find something in Eastern.
Yeah.
The question is what?
Right. There's a lot of options. You kind of have to think. There's got to be something in here that is just because of location stuff. That something in here will point us in the right direction.
Well, we do have a Gina too. We have not seen a Gina.
Right. Might actually be the Cave of Agony tonight, but map to start with, so not ideal start.
Yeah, as we said earlier, because Moon Pearl was on the old man, Lamp has to be available before Aga Tower, at a minimum.
Right.
That's the first item. A lamp could actually be on Armos Knights, because they have the Fire Rod, assuming the big key is not vanilla.
Correct.
Yeah, because we know the lamp's going to show up, unless there's the next two items are lamp and hammer or lamp and mitts, most likely we're going to be seeing Aga.
Number 2 is potion.
Actually, this is a lamp locked Eastern. That means lamp's got to be the Gina.
Well. So that's a good thing to point out, JP, because that means that if we get our third item here, we won't get our third item. We're gonna get the key first. But if we get our third item in that big chest, then if you've read that correctly, do you save and quit, go get the lamp, and then go to Aga?
If you feel comfortable with the dark rooms in Aga Tower, I think you don't worry about that lamp for now.
Right.
It's just too much of a walk to get it. I think you'll eventually get it if you feel like it, but I don't think you do if you feel comfortable with the Aga Tower dark rooms. And like I said, those torches, with some practice, aren't that hard to hit.
Yes, indeed, that is true. They do have the fire rod, so this will be a good question here to see. Yeah, is that big key? Has to be. It's the only place it could be. But yeah, that's a good question of, how confident are you? And you're kind of wondering. Well, I guess we'll see here from both jkoper and Jullo, just what confidence they have in that. It's Compass.
Threat him is on Armos. Interesting to think about with jkoper is he does have a few more checks than Julloninja does. Jullo will know it's on Agina.
All right.
jkoper has not checked the dam or sick kid as well.
Yeah, so jkoper may actually make that. If it's on Agina, jkoper may actually go down and make those additional checks. So we'll see.
I guess Agina could have something like the mirror as well. Take you to Hera.
Right.
Actually, no, it couldn't. Never mind, it can't because we would logically still need the lamp to get up the mountain.
Right. We're still kind of in that. We're kind of in that situation, nonetheless.
Yeah, I guess it could be Book.
Book would be fun. I would like to see Book.
Flute wouldn't do anything. Flute wouldn't open any new spots, so it couldn't be that.
Yeah. Well, you get a crystal out of it at least. So, first crystal of the game, 2439, going to jkoper. But Jullo will not be too far behind here. Nice execution from jkoper on that Armos fight.
So yeah, actually jkoper's even got a few more checks. You can actually do Sick Kid, Race Game, and check the library too. So yeah, jkoper's probably going to be a little longer before Aga, but Julloninja, my guess is he's going to go for Aga Tower.
Yeah, I would not blame Jullo in the slightest for doing that.
Starting at Blink's house. Oh, no, he's going to go to Agina, yeah. He's going to go down there.
Yeah.
This might just be him being thorough again. You know.
Right. It might also just be a situation where you're kind of like, you know what? This is not a race I want to screw around and just... Well, yeah, you also want to make sure that it's not going to be something that's not lamp. But,
just saying it could be a hammer. Even if it's hammer, it can't be hammer because hammer unlocks nothing right now, so it cannot be hammer. Because we still have Moon Pearl out of logic. Oh, actually, no, never mind. Chat's correcting me. Hammer would unlock Hera. Never mind.
Oh, yeah.
Never mind. It still doesn't because we're still locked with a lamp. Yeah, there it is.
It's the lamp anyways.
We keep forgetting like these little things. It's like climbing the mountain requires a lamp. Logically. Yeah, this is now you go into Aghanim. You've got the Aghanim, you got the Dark World starter package with the hookshot and the glove. You can basically do a lot of Dark World when you get there, so it's time to do Aga.
Yep. Time to go do the thing that you don't want to have to do, but sometimes you have to do the things you don't want to do in life. Gotta adult in the rando sense. And jkoper should get that lamp. I know exactly where he's got to go to. Nice thing though is it's still pretty close between both runners. It's certainly Jullo's first into Castle Tower, but that's not at all indicative that this is how it's going to stay the whole race. Could always tighten, or leads can expand and change and all that. Such is the fun of Rando.
So we're gonna do our climb. As you can see, this is the main room that would be a problem without a way to look to see in the room. That one's
Yeah.
pretty tricky.
Yeah, some of these are really kind of tricky. And the thing is it's just, you don't see, it's not something you practice. You don't see a lot of people practice these because it's not necessarily something that's going to happen every time you go in here. So
Back when Key Sandy was played a lot more, especially in a Key Sandy tournament a long time ago now, practicing these opening dark rooms in Aga Tower was common because these chests would have other items in them. But not as much in recent days. I guess if you play some more of the off modes, then yeah, you might practice some of these dark rooms.
Indeed. And hello, Raiders from SpeedGaming. Hope the Final Fantasy was fun. I saw that they were doing that earlier. But welcome to our Game 3 match here tonight in Link to the Past Randomizer 2021 tournament between jkoper and Julloninja in Group T. I'm Nihon Tiger, and first JP's with me here, and we're in the middle of a Aga Tower climb. Jullo is about to go ahead and fight Aga, so hope you got your predictions in the with your channel points about how many blue balls we're going to see.
Yeah, that one's always a tough one to put a prediction in for because 3 is the average. So, 3 is always one that's tough to go for. As obviously the first one, but I think 3 or fewer is generally the good way to put a prediction in because a lot of people like to go with the higher prediction.
They do.
Though we've only seen 1 in the first cycle as we get the first lightning bolt.
Everybody's always hoping for 15. That's number 15.
There's the second blue ball. 4 normal hits and 2 blue balls so far. There's the third. Need another. Is this a blue ball or not? It is. So there's your prediction winner.
Of course, one of the things to remember too is that in this fight, if you ever come across this fight yourself and want to know a little bit of trivia to help you make it a little easier, as Jullo finishes up the fight with a nice little victory slash and happy slash there on Aga after a wonderfully not taxing time. The first shot in every cycle is always going to be a fireball, and then it can cycle. And then it's either between blue balls or fireballs. Next 3, and then the 5th one's always going to be a lightning bolt, and then the cycle resets. So you'll always have an opportunity to get at least 1 fireball in. And there's that lightning, and now it will cycle again here. So we'll get a fireball to start, and then the 3 in the middle, and then our lightning. And for the lightning, Aga always goes to the very top of the room in the center. That's why you'll see jkoper and Jullo and pretty much everyone who does rando will walk straight up to the top and stand next to Aga. And nothing bad will happen because the lightning doesn't go that way. Meanwhile, Jullo's actually making the trek over to Catfish here. So I had a question in chat from Jenna asking, might have missed something, but why are they doing Aga? Is there an item that they can only get by doing it? It's less that there's an item that they can only get by doing it, and more there's an item that they don't have that they have to go to Aga to get to the Dark World, which is where said item is hiding somewhere. A lot of times, if it's Moon Pearl that you're looking for and you have to go to Aga, Moon Pearl is sitting right up there on that pyramid ledge. That's actually a little more common than being a rare thing, but it happens. Yeah, usually that just means you don't have Dark World access without going to Aga, so you kind of have to go do the fight to get transported to the Dark World and find whatever it is you're looking for. And sometimes too, it can be really difficult because the Castle Tower dungeon is the one that you really don't want to have to do it if you don't have to. So you'll see. So a lot of times you'll check everything else first to see, am I required to do it? We were talking about this a little bit earlier, and you basically, if you know what you need access-wise, then you know that you kind of have to go do it.
Yeah. So we've got divergence again. Julloninja heading into Skull Woods, which is a pendant. All three races in their series has been pendant Skull Woods. But he can full clear it if he wants to. Meanwhile, jkoper going for Crystal Pod that can't complete unless he finds the hammer in here.
Yep. So he would be hoping for a regular old pod hammer, since this is the dungeon in the vanilla game where you would find it.
So yeah, starting to look through what we need still. We definitely need that hammer. We need the mitts. We might need a medallion. We need some Maria.
Yep. And chat was asking what Zoro had. Just some bombs. Bombs and disappointment. Yeah, so with Rando, if you're new to it, a lot of the go fast part is not just, I think we talked about it a little earlier, it's not just the execution, it's the reading of the seed and being able to say, I have items X, Y, and Z, that means I can do X, that, and that, as Candace Samaria shows up in the brewery hut in Village Podcast. So that's a nice find.
Yeah. And this actually, jkoper playing to Pod might be trying to read the seed a little bit, because Bo didn't lead to anything in Eastern. Yep. So maybe it's for Pod instead.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Sometimes Bo's also one of those items that they just give it to you because you need it at some point.
Right. Sometimes, like I was gonna say, that's a great point there, JP. Sometimes the game's just weird and give you stuff, and it's like, okay, you have thing. Do I need thing to do next step? No, but I gave it to you anyways.
jkoper with no mirror hammer has to death warp.
Yep. So one of the things too, you'll see our runners do that as Julloninja finds the big key. When you don't have the mirror, you can't go easily back to the start, so you'll see them intentionally death warp sometimes. That's just a quick way to reset to the start of the dungeon. I'm gonna pick up at least the first 4 chests here. There we go, and there's one more item.
Yeah. Well, you haven't seen we haven't seen an item in Thieves Town yet. There's the first item we've seen, so there's 3 in the back.
Yep. And yeah, death warping is basically taking an intentional death in a dungeon. What that does is it sends you back to the beginning of the dungeon, but you keep all of the items that you found. So it's kind of a quick way to reset right back to the start.
And efficient death warping is definitely a part of Rando.
Yes, especially when you don't have the mirror to start with. And I know chat's like, I feel like a noob with somebody asking all these questions. No, that's actually what we're here to help kind of do. So please feel free to ask all the questions, as jkoper picking up a small chest in the harmless hallway, and Jullo actually in the regular hallway. Kind of nice little bit of poetry there. But yeah, definitely you're always happy to answer questions about what you're seeing and what's going on and what our runners might be thinking.
I think they might be thinking too that they're happy they don't have to do Pod in the Dark for once. That's another common theme that happened in their first 2 races.
Yeah, it's not so bad once you know what the layout is of the map. It just kind of is having to deal with the Kadongos is not fun. Hey, shovel.
Okay. You kind of can use that like a hammer, but not quite well enough.
maybe it leads to the hammer. Julloninja Sprite is Phoenix Wright from the Ace Attorney games.
So I think now shovels. Well, yeah, the shovel's the only thing that jkoper found in pots. So he's hoping it pays off. It does not.
It is disappointment. It is massive disappointment. And
So yeah.
So I was gonna say, could possibly have an item in that Thieves Town big chest because we do have the key.
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen the map yet.
Right, and that's actually another thing too. Just very quickly touch on that. Most of the dungeons here have a set number of items inside of them. So if you can correctly item count, you might know that, hey, if I've got, like, say for example, Thieves Town where Jullo is, there's 4 items in there. If you get 4 items out, you don't have to open up any more chests because you know that any other chests you open are just going to contain map or that small key or the compass.
Alright, Julloninja's done in Thieves Town. Yeah, I didn't check to see if he got the map or not. If he didn't get the map, then the map's in the big chest. If he did, then there is an item in the big chest. Bit of a slow one after that fast start. This seed has been kind of dragging along for a bit. Which if you're one of these runners you don't really like. You don't like seeds that kind of, when you start to drag, because it's like, you feel like you're losing time. If you're not constantly getting new items, you just feel like you're falling behind.
Yeah. So you always kind of want to keep getting items and clearing dungeons, but it's not always the thing that you can do. So you have to do your best. I'm pretty sure if I remember right, I saw chat was asking the question about what if you clip into that pot in the bottom of Thieves Town. I do not know, and I feel like it does something that probably nobody has tried and would likely do something bad. It's a good question though.
Might want to ask Kern. I bet he's probably done it at some point.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, Kern probably knows. Kern would certainly know the answer to that. The chat was also discussing about the pots in the castle that can warp you to Ganon fight.
We're running out of spots for our next piece of progression. It might have to be in Hype Cave at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's in the back of Skull Woods.
Which, yeah, Jullo's about to check that right now. So we'll see if it's in High Cave. Oh, yeah, that counts. Yeah, that's a mirror. that would qualify as progression. And
So
we can go to Hera.
yeah, you can go to Hera. Got K45 and Graveyard Ledge that are opened up. Actually doesn't do as much as you would think on its own. That's about it, because no swamp access because no flippers.
Correct.
Yeah, actually there's only a couple spots right now that are that opened. Like Hera and a couple mirror checks from Dark World to Light World.
We're going to get that Cave 45 check, and it's just going to be 50 rupees, and I'm going to save and quit.
We are going to see Hera now.
Yep. Not a bad call, but jkoper's going into Thief Town. Going to get that magic powder. That would also be actually a check that we could do. We could do magic bat. Since we have the, well, at least Jullo could do it because mirror powder lets you do that.
That'd be an ugly spot for Hammer or Mitz at this point because it's just such a long walk to get to it. Well, actually, that only Hammer could be there.
Right.
Mitz could be there if you have Hammer. Hammer can be there if you have Mitz. I got 2 items in Hera. Early big key. I always like to see that. That's the first item. Yeah, what's gonna open up the world for us? It's a big question right now. Feels like we're like into a situation where I feel like Mitts are gonna be next. Just because they open more. Hammer doesn't open as much.
Yeah, Mitts. Oh, shield.
That's
Yikes.
second item. It's not in Hera.
Wow. Okay. Well,
I think that leaves us with Graveyard Ledge in the back of Skullwoods.
I feel like that back of Skullwoods play is probably the one I would make. It could even be on Moth. Because this game doesn't like us for some reason. And by us, I mean like the entire world. But yeah, that's a tough call. I mean, Graveyard Ledge is certainly much more accessible, but
in their situation, they actually have to walk right by Graveyard Ledge, yeah.
Right.
Because of how long of a walk it is to get to... You have to basically walk by Graveyard Ledge to get to Skullwoods at this point.
yeah, that's yeah. You could probably do both. I think Graveyard Ledge wouldn't. In that situation, Graveyard Ledge probably does make a bit more sense.
Jullo's up to 3 crystals. But yeah, we need to find that next piece. So let's see where he goes. He's gonna find out pretty quickly he can't do this if he's going for Spike Cave. Yeah, can't do that without a hammer.
Might have been a situation where you were just kind of like, I could just Spike. Hey, no. I'm just gonna go back to the Dark World.
Oh no, chat's saying he might have just
Right.
went to Dark World to go to the pyramid.
Yeah, that was kind of floating around in the back of my head as a possibility, but that makes sense. That makes a ton of sense.
Well, Jullo's actually has not been into pod yet, so he's going to make the dip into pod, meaning this is going to give jkoper a chance to catch up some of the time he spent by going into pod as well. Yeah, chat does bring up a good point. It'll be slightly faster for Jullo in pod because he has the mirror, but it's still going to be some sunk time.
Mm-hmm.
jkoper's got his second crystal, and he's going to most likely make his South Dark World checks now. Yeah, this is turning into just one of those seeds where the items are just going to trickle in for a while now. You're just going to get one item that opens a few checks, and then another item that opens a few checks, and we're going to just keep going like that over and over. At this point, we still need hammer, mitts, and flutes. We might need a medallion. We technically need flippers, but these runners will be happy to never find flippers.
Yeah, diggy game. What do we got? So many, lots of digs. So many digs. All those digs for 10 arrows. Gotta be loving that. So digging was for the dig game, which is a regular thing you get to do in vanilla, but of course in rando it's a random item and a random number of digs.
So jkoper's got his mirror. We'll see what he decides to do next. He's gonna make the same play, go to Cape 45. Yeah, right now Julloninja's got a bit of a lead and just checks, and he's gonna get funneled into the next piece of progression here shortly. jkoper kind of needs to diverge at some point to get an item faster, to put him to let him catch up some time.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's kind of one of the things too. Is you do see a lot of funneling in this game sometimes, where basically you kind of start to run out of locations to check, and the game basically says, "Hey, you haven't checked this yet. You got to go ahead and go to this spot and just figure out how to get there and get your item because it's here."
So Jules going to take that shovel and check that, and then I think he's funneled to Graveyard Ledge and back of Skull Woods.
Of course, jkoper now going to check Hera with that mirror access, so you would think this would be the play.
Yep. He'll full clear this. He might be able to save a little time if he does the Hera pot. Julloninja didn't do that. Yeah, Julloninja's gonna get funneled at this point into doing Graveyard Ledge and the back of Skull Woods. Nice Hera pot by jkoper. That'll save him a little time in here.
Very nicely done.
So what are we gonna see? Hammer, mitts. We could see flippers to open one chest in Swamp Palace. We could see a book, I guess.
There's all sorts of fun things we can see. And all sorts of things that probably, if you're a runner, you do not hope to run across at this point.
Yeah, it could be boots next too. That would open a couple checks. It's in the back of Skull Woods. Oh, jkoper taking on Moldorm. Getting a little bullied here. He's got it down now.
Yes, indeed.
And Julloninja heading in the back of Skull Woods. jkoper should be right behind Julloninja. Chat keeps talking about Zora. We've already seen Zora. And we saw in logic Zora check, so that's already out of the question. Julloninja is really trying to avoid that back of Skull Woods play, but I think that's what he's got to do at this point. Or did we see? I thought we saw more in Skull Woods. Maybe we didn't.
And we definitely haven't seen the back half here. There's nothing really in the front half at the moment.
Yep, it is in the back half. Don't know. I think based on Julloninja's small key count, we've got all the small keys accounted for at this point. So I think the back is a dungeon item, the map or compass, and then also the second item.
I believe that is correct.
So is the game going to force you to fight Moth, or are you going to get it right here?
With the way this feed's going, I think like Moth fight is likely.
No, there's our hammer.
Darn it. Gosh darn it. I was hoping for a Moth fight. Okey-doke. So now the question becomes, you got your hammer. Okay, where do I go? And Jullo, a little bit of mirror bonk in there.
Yeah, the problem is the hammer doesn't do a lot.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, which is that's the reason that I asked that question, is because I'm like, that doesn't really do much.
Lets you finish pod, which might still have an item. Does let you check Magic Bat, which Julloninja is going to do. But I don't know if it does anything beyond that.
I don't necessarily know that it does anything useful beyond that.
Well, now flippers could be the next item we find because that would put all swamp in play. Well, just a 20 at Magic Bat. Oh, Chad brings up a point. Pod is the other red crystal, I think. So that would also open Pyramid Fairy, which is a couple more items. Where's...
Right.
Oh, they also open Spike Cave, which Julloninja is going to.
I kind of feel like Jewel might have been thinking about that a while ago. We know that there was the mirror, the teleport to the Dark World and save and quit to go back to the pyramid, but might have also been thinking at the same time that, you know, as soon as I get access, I can come back here and check this real quick and real easy.
Without Myths, Ice Palace, Mire, and Turtle Rock are all not available right now.
And this could be a really smart play if there's something here, because it's not in a hard location to get to. Oh, no, it's only a big 20. But it just one that sometimes gets less locationed. So the hope there would have been that, okay, there was something useful here, and I didn't just burn a bunch of time on a wild goose chase.
And Julloninja's going to finish Pod now. Not sure why jkoper went back to the Dark World, because I think the only thing that's open down here is the Magic Bat.
Yeah, he's got the mirror out. I think no, not yet. Well, he would have had the mirror anyways because he doesn't have the glove, so he can't go up that way. Oh, yeah, he's just gonna go this way and set up this portal there. So he's thinking Magic Bat. But Chulo's gonna go over to Pod.
We are going to start seeing more green 20s pop up because these runners are at 13 hearts. I think that's always a sign of how rough a seed's been, is when you see how many hearts you have.
Especially in hard mode, because of the fact that you've got all those additional checks that are just going to be big 20s. So if you've got like 13 hearts and... Oh.
Is there an item left? No, there's not. I was about to say, yeah.
No, I don't think there is.
Okay, so jkoper was thinking there was still an item in Thieves Town. That's why he did this route. And jkoper's also going to check Spike Cave. And next item, I think at this point we're looking at flippers, mitts, Booker boots. Flute will be needed, but not right now. Flute does nothing new for us.
And jkoper is going to do the Spike Cave check as well, while Julloninja is using that hammer to bonk Sword King, and using that sword. There we go.
Just a green 20, but that does open Pyramid Fairy. Like I said, if you're these runners, you don't want to see flippers next. That's just gonna extend this seed more. Logically, we do have to see flippers outside GT, but with Swamp Appendant, you don't want flippers.
Nope. That's just kind of the sinking feeling that you're like, oh no, I need that, don't I?
The good news is with this Pyramid Fairy check is it's going to be a little quicker because you killed Daga. Mitts open the most for sure, but they don't necessarily have to be the next item. And Mitts would actually give the runners a chance for divergence as well, which we haven't seen in a while. They both end essentially forced onto the exact same path. Alright, let's see what we got. Red Rupee, and there's the Mitts. Okay. Now they've got some options.
You have to think that jkoper's not going to be too far behind here on that play, JP. Going to get the remaining crystal here and knowing that that's going to unlock the Pyramid Fairy as well.
And Jullo's going to go to Ice Palace. Gonna stick with Crystal Dungeons for now. Oh, you don't want to see that.
Oh no. No, that's rough, yeah. You gotta go all the way to the back, and yeah, if you're jkoper, you're just probably frustrated more than anything else right now. You get all the way down to the bottom there to go fight Helmasaur, and then you gotta die and do it all over again. And really, at this point, you're just, you know, when you make a mistake as someone completing a randomizer seed, you're just trying to like avoid the tilt and just kind of calm down and realize that, you know, even in a high pressure situation like this, the more you let it get to you, the more likely you are to start making mistakes in execution, and maybe some routing choices, and from there it just kind of avalanches on, piles on into something where you can't recover.
So it's worth noting at this point that without the flippers, Julloninja is not going to find those in here, but we don't need the flippers right now.
Right.
Which is kind of maybe a good reason to come in here, because you know you're not going to find flippers, but you might find your other pieces for go mode, which right now might just be flute, but we don't know. We haven't seen any medallions yet, so we don't know if that ether is going to hold up or not.
Yep, and that could be the tricky thing, is there could be a medallion hanging on pedestal, and you could be in a situation where it's like, well, shoot, now I got to go do all these things again. I don't want to have to go into these dungeons and beat them, but in that scenario, you're gonna see Skullwoods done last, because you want to be able to mirror directly from coming out of the back half of Skullwoods to go to Ped. And jkoper's just gonna settle on the arrows here. I think this is... There we go. Gets the last slash in. Good recovery from that earlier death. I'll pick up the crystal as well.
Chad asking about Ped, which of course is natural, but it is possible, but Book would need to show... Book or Flute would need to show up, and even then, if Flute shows up, it'd only be a medallion. If Book shows up, then we need Book and Flippers. So you're not thinking Ped at this point. Neither of these runners are thinking that yet. You need to at minimum see the Flippers before you start to think about that. Well, there's some boots.
Well, that opens up a few extra locations here. Of course, Bonk Rocks and Kingstoon being the predominant ones that I think we'll see here from Jullo in the not too distant future.
Jullo's going to use his green potion so he can use some fire rod shots. With Master Sword only, this is a little bit of a harder fight, so don't blame him for wanting to use that fire rod, which I believe does gold sword damage.
Yes. And he gets a small key for coming in, but this is not Ghosts and Goblins, so does not work the same way. And Mitts get for jkoper.
So we have no access to Maya right now. Turtle Rock, though, is wide open.
That's the thing, too, is, you know, you kind of have to follow the seed. Jullo's going to go check those boots locked locations first.
Yeah. At this point, I don't know if I'd follow those, honestly. Just because those are locked behind flippers right now.
Right.
And they might not even be required.
Right. And the thing I was gonna say is Jullo probably doesn't. Both our runners probably do not want, if they can avoid it, to go into Turtle Rock now, because you usually try to see them save Turtle Rock for late or last, because what you want is to be able to only have to climb the mountain once. But it doesn't always get to be the case. Sometimes the game dictates that you will do what it wants you to do. And Bonk Rocks is going to be half magic. Useful, nice, but not required to beat the game. And jkoper still making those East Death Mountain checks.
Julloninja has not checked Lumberjack, so he's going to check that. We already know that. So I think it was a piece of heart.
Yeah, what you knows by now might just be a big 20. You know, but still a piece of heart. Okay. Now the other ones are gonna be 20s. Ooh! Quake! In Hookshot Cave. Bottle. Rupees. And the last chest is gonna be another big 20. Okay.
I think Julloninja is going to do the Smith chain.
Mm-hmm. His bomb. Oh.
Oh, that hurts.
You have 2 medallions. And then the game says no. You must get the 3rd one.
I think that means Smith Chain's got to have something.
Yeah. We're hoping that Smith Chain has something. We're hoping it's not the flippers. It could be the flippers. Well, Splash Elite setting up on jkoper's side here. Nicely done. Very nice to see that. And so jkoper definitely going over to Ice Palace now. Chat's becoming a pet cult, or chat is a pet cult, like all the time. But yeah, unfortunately, Julloninja not finding that item that he's looking for right now, and is instead going to be continue on the Smith Chain.
Oh, we just found the flutes.
Oh,
Smith's.
just found the flute. Oh, flutes, toot toot, flutes at Smith's. Okay. I was wondering why he was walking that way.
So, we need Bombos.
Okay.
That's about it for at least our no mode. We also need to know what the Meyer Medallion is.
We also need to know if we need... The only other thing that it could be is a fetch quest item that leads to Bombos. So, yeah, there's a lot of... There's some questions that are still open as far as, like, what else are we going to come across here, but we know that we need Bombos. And actually, really nice use of the Icebreaker glitch there from jkoper. And we did see Jullo do that as well earlier.
I think we're gonna get that info from Meyer.
Okay, so we're gonna have all the important info.
And what's our Meyer Medallion? It's Ether. So Jullo can finish Meyer right now.
Yes. Ooh,
there is a tempered sword.
Yep. So that means no more sword upgrades for our runners. Unless jkoper somehow comes across the other one.
So yeah, now it's just a matter of, like I said, Bombos, and again, you still do not want to see the flippers. I think if you're Julloninja and you see the flippers, you get a little mad.
And yes, indeed, Adalor, you turned in for a medallion hunt because we are looking for Bombos right now.
The thing is, Julloninja doesn't know he just needs Bombos.
Correct.
In fact, he might be thinking he's in potential go mode as it is.
Because... Right, which... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just because he might have the medallion for Turtle Rock. He doesn't know it's Bombos yet.
Right. Or maybe he thinks he finds it along the way. That's the danger of, you don't want to think you're in go mode until you actually know you're in go mode, because if it's like if for whatever reason, if Jullo went into go mode and started doing the go mode version of this dungeon and skipped the chest that had Bombos in it, oh boy, that would be bad. So really, you're gonna continue to see Julloninja be very thorough in his checks. I would not considering how thorough that he's been so far, I would not expect that to change until we've got a hard confirmed go mode on his side.
jkoper's got to be careful down to 2 hearts.
Those beeps, but also we'll pick up a key. Nicely done.
So it's a 5-5 crystal tie, but Julloninja's on his way to his 6th.
Yep.
Don't know if Jullo's seen either item in here yet.
I've seen a whole bunch of keys.
Yeah, based on how many keys he has, I don't think he's seen an item yet in here. I think we do have to deduce that the other item on the left side is a small key, so we don't have to worry about the cutscene chest.
Mm-hmm.
I think I see a comment in chat about Meyer cutscene. I don't think Meyer cutscene can have anything other than the small key because of where the big key was. I think if there's a... Oh, maybe the chat's saying I'm wrong. I thought that if the big key was on the left side, then the small key, there had to be also a small key over there. But I guess not.
Nope, the half magic that jkoper just found that Jullo found earlier, this is where it comes kind of in handy, is you can just kind of cape up and take care of the little eyeballs. Now the big eyeball for Viddy should go very quickly, keep him pinned to the wall with the arrows. And there's one item.
If Julloninja thinks he's in go mode, he's gonna leave.
Right.
If he doesn't, he is going to go back in.
Right, and I would say thinking you're in go mode right now might be the biggest. He's going. I think he's going into the desert pal. No, he's got the flute out.
Nope, he's going to Turtle Rock because if Turtle Rock in his mind, if Turtle Rock's Ether, he's in go mode.
Yep, and that is the big decision here. jkoper. Where are we heading? Oh, Smith chain. Yep. Makes sense.
And even if it's not go mode up here, in his mind, there's 6 checks he gets to make.
Right. It's all that's fairly sensible to make that play.
And actually, even if it's not here, Jullo's actually kind of limited on his checks. I think he's got Desert Fire, and I don't know if he's got anything else.
Yeah, going back into Mire, going to Desert, finishing Skullwoods.
I think we saw both.
Oh wait, we did see both, but yeah. And they'll save that to the end if it's fed. We're kind of running out of overworld checks here. There's not really anywhere left overworld-wise to check, and jkoper picking up that flute as well. Get, without the book, we don't have the 2 checks in on the 2 tablets, so those aren't in logic yet. We don't have mushrooms, so potion shop turn-in's not in logic yet. Green pendant is in Swamp Palace, so without the flippers, we don't have Sahasrara turn-in yet.
Yeah. And of course, Jullo probably saw that Quake Medallion, excited for a fraction of a second, and then disappointment. And jkoper's biggest chance right now is to get to Bombos before Julloninja does.
Right. Yeah, the other problem with that too is that jkoper is going to be making a lot of checks. So the big decision here would be, yeah, as I say, Jullo's going to go back, either go back into Meyer to clear that out, or it's just going to mirror over to do Desert Palace. So
I think he does desert first.
yeah, quicker.
Oh, he doesn't check checkerboard.
Yep. Checkerboard and Desert Palace in the Meyer.
Now the thing is, if he finds flippers, he might follow those.
Mm-hmm. No.
Okay.
Hello. And flute's out. It's going to be Alpha 2. Let's turn that mushroom in. Is this the play? Is it mushroom turn in? Oh, jkoper's going into Desert Palace.
Yeah, I think this might be a little bit of desperation. There's Bombo.
Yeah, there it is.
And that's go mode for Julloninja.
There we go. 124.24 on the dot. Julloninja going into go mode. And he's going to go straight back up to Turtle Rock here. Got one more dungeon, GT to clear. That was... I saw that prediction just came across from the Twitch predictor. 125 or earlier, it was at 124 and a half. Wow. Cutting it real close.
I put that one, I thought I actually underestimated it, but
right.
I guess I hit it right at the perfect spot.
Yeah, you pretty much nailed that.
Yeah, at this point, this is Julloninja's race to lose. Like, he's just got a Turtle Rock to clear, and then he is in go mode. Or he's already in go mode, but he's in the GT at that point.
Yeah, with basically a 2 crystal lead right now, upon completion of TR, this is gonna be very difficult for jkoper. It's gonna be like Julloninja's gonna have to like. It's never over till it's over, but like Julloninja's got a very cushy advantage right now, where it's gonna be like a big execution error.
Now jkoper is gonna get his mushroom. If he goes and turns that in right away, he'll be in go mode. But he's a minimum a Meyer behind now.
Yes, and he will be able to go. He'll be able to like completely go mode Meyer, but it's still, you know, dungeons are times. Yeah, he's doing that.
Man, for once these runners are going to enter GT and know they can find the big key in logic as jkoper enters go mode.
He enters go mode only about 2 minutes behind Jullo, but with the caveat that he still has to go through it and complete go mode Misery Meyer, which is going to take some extra time too. And so yeah, if you're Julloninja, you got bounced to the second chance bracket here. Have to play in to advance to the next round. Ace0 did a 2-0 number on Jullo a little bit earlier in this group stage. So if you're Julloninja, this is not one you'd never want to have to go to game 3 if you don't have to, but getting really close to kind of getting back to the group stage here. jkoper is going to need a lot of help to be able to do this, but certainly this has been an entertaining race for sure.
Yeah, this has been a very, very good race. This one, to some extent has to be a little bit better because like there's no shenanigans going into GT. Things were a little more straightforward than the last two, but though they were pretty slow. Oh, I didn't want to get bunny beam there, but unfortunately took it. Yeah, we still haven't found those flippers. I think those flippers just have to be somewhere in Turtle Rock or Mimic Cave right now.
Yeah, they have to be somewhere that's going to be a pain to get to, and that is not going to be on anyone's radar. And with that small key find there, that means that we probably won't even see Laser Bridge at this point.
Yep, no laser bridge. Julloninja's got everything he needs. Doesn't need to open any extra chests. And just a reminder what's on the line here. Winner advances to the bracket, and loser is done in the tournament. Jullo gonna just play it safe and go for somewhat normal strats on this.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty smooth phase 1 there.
Yeah, it should be a fairly smooth phase 2 as well. And of course, that means that with the 7th crystal found, we have the, I guess you could call it the different version of the GT Big Key guessing game, because the bot's not working. So, oh, guys, hold on, guys, hold on. The bot's not working, so we were going to use the Twitch prediction. Yeah, there you go. Twitch prediction. So you win channel points by guessing if it's an odd or an even location.
Yeah, I think I might have put that a little long. Hopefully, I always underestimate how long it takes to get here. So
right.
But yeah,
I realize as well that my attempts to get chat to not do what they do sometimes is, especially with the guessing game, is sometimes futile.
but yeah, get your guesses in. If you have any points left, I think some people are out of points after some of these predictions.
Good point.
Unfortunately, if we do see an early GT Big Q, we might have to cancel the prediction.
Yeah.
Well, I think we might be safe because I think we won't see another item until this is finished.
Yep. So, the max number. The max number is 22.
And we got Sonic number 2.
Well. Okay, that's that's not good for jkoper. But congratulations to everybody who picked even. You win the points. And there we go. Julloninja now working on up through Gauntlet, which is a very execution-heavy portion of any randomizer run, and indeed any sort of Link to the Past run, whether it's randomizer or just a speedrun in general.
Now entering the gauntlet with half magic, Julloninja can use Fire Rod here. No problem. If you don't have half magic, you have to be careful with your magic here, but if with half magic, you can be a little more liberal.
Yeah, you don't have to be so judicious in your application of the magical arts.
Land mode 2 fights, just 6 Fire Rod shots. Ooh, not quite the 1 cycle. Gonna go for the 2.
Yeah, I could get that spin to get get it on the 2 cycle. It's not too bad. It's kind of tough to get those shots lined up sometimes. So, but this one's not so hard. Most satisfying. Room to game part 1. Using that can of Samaria just to make everything go boom. And then here's part 2. More of the same.
Gonna get one more prediction in here to finish off the race. I'll explain this one a little bit. Phase 3 of Ganon has some seeded warps in it. There's always a guaranteed warp after each hit, but there's also some extras. So get your prediction in for that. How many extra seeded warps will there be?
Ooh, that's a good one, actually, JP. I like that.
Yeah, I've seen some others do it, so it's a fun little one to finish off with.
Yeah, it's kind of a question: is are we gonna get? Is he gonna try and give us a slip tonight, or is he gonna play nice?
And for some context on this too, so you have it. Basically, the first warp's always guaranteed, so we don't count that. But then each one after that's a 50-50 chance. Similar to Egg.
Yeah, so first warp doesn't count because it's gonna be 1 by default anyways. So, as we do get a check of the last item chest, and it is some bombs. So, you never saw those flippers. They're probably somewhere in GT. But yeah, Julloninja out now on the Aga 2 fight. Time to do some math.
I think it was only a double, unfortunately, because of the way it was set up.
Yep. Oh, that's just a single there. Here's a double.
Looking at a 4-cycle Aga 2, Julloninja's got it down. He just has a Ganon fight ahead, and you might be panicking a little bit.
That's kind of the case. Anytime you are doing something, and especially these races, these head-to-head races, anytime you're doing something and you're getting to the end of the game, and you're just like you haven't seen that dot done from the other runner yet, there's a little bit of nervousness that takes in, and you're just kind of like, oh gosh. How close is it? It's a combination of how close is this and am I actually leading? Because I always say that you think you're losing until you actually hit that dot down and win.
Ooh, 2-cycle phase 1, and not a great spot for phase 2. It's gonna bring out the cape to help.
Yeah, smart move. As Chad, of course, also reminded us, Jullo does like to clown a little bit too, so that may be also in the play.
Okay, and here we go into phase 3, so this is where we'll start counting those extra warps. So far, 0.
1.
Just 1 extra warp. That was a really kind Ganon.
Yep. No, we did not find the silvers. Here's the torch glitch. It's got that set up, so should not be too much problem here for Jullo. He's getting those sword spins just right. Gotta do it just as Ganon's about to do a warp. You usually get 3 in on the cycle if you time it just right. So it should be 4, maybe 5 cycles. Pretty close now. I think he's got 1 more.
And that's it.
And get the GG's in chat here for Julloninja about the cross over that bridge and take the series and advance to the next round of the brackets. Well done. And that will be an official wristtime.gg time for Julloninja of 1:39.16. As jkoper gonna check the tile room for us. I think we will at least get Jullo in here in a moment. It's just gonna check here. I always love this little trick with the tile room. If you have the cape on, what did that tile just do? That tile just flipped the other way. Oh, just a piece of heart. The last piece of heart for jkoper.
Yeah, and he did forfeit shortly after Julloninja finished, so.
Yep, so we'll try and grab both of them in here in just a moment. We did get to see at least get to see the cool little trick there with the cape. jkoper's playing the game with the Wall Master. You think you got me, or think you got me, or no, you don't. All right. I think now we do have both Julloninja and jkoper in here. GG's. That was an entertaining race. How y'all feeling right now?
I think the first 2 seasons of the series were better.
I agree with that.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like we both pretty much last location in the fire rod. I certainly gave it some thought, going for the second item in Skullwoods right away, but checking one chest and getting one item really makes it hard to go through the rest of them for a second item. So, yeah.
I did the exact same thing. I was like, oh, hey, item. There can't be anything else here that I want, so I'm going to do everything else in the world.
Yeah. I mean, hammer go mode is still pretty good. I mean, it wasn't go mode, but it was kind of close. I also did pod before going west and everything. I mean, it didn't really matter. I'm sure you did pod eventually, one way or the other.
Yeah, I did pod after I got the mirror, so it was slightly quicker.
Yeah, that would definitely save a little time, not a ton, maybe 30 seconds or something.
Yeah. You two actually had pretty similar routes for a lot of this. Some divergent at times, but for the most part, you both had very similar routes.
I feel like the seed kind of bottlenecked you a lot until like the hour mark when you finally got mitts and hammer. I was like, oh, you can actually do more than one check. Let's go do things.
Yeah, it did bottleneck you quite a bit. Bottlenecked you into Aga, then bottlenecked you to the hammer, then to the mitts. The only thing it didn't do to make this seed worse for you guys is give you flippers.
Well, I mean, They had very few spots they could be at this point.
I think it basically has to be in Turtle Rock or Mimic Cave. I don't think we have anything that was unchecked after that. Unless there's maybe a second item in Mire. That could also be it, I think.
Oh, it sounds like Jello did the same thing I did.
Yeah.
Or they could also be like on Land Molas.
Oh, I didn't even go into desert.
Yeah, I did. Well, that was maybe good for me.
Well-
if things had worked, if items had been placed a little different, I guess going into desert could have been something for me. But like if you had gotten the flippers in Mire for example, and I got bombos out of desert, that might have been something. I don't know.
It's actually interesting. I should ask Jolo, did you think when you picked up the flute that you might have been in Go mode?
I was hoping I was in Go mode. I'm like, I'll skip the things in Maya if I don't find them. And apparently skipping checkerboard was really bad. But yeah, no, flute was like, alright, let's try and kind of Go mode Maya. And just do overworld on the way.
Yeah, then you find it's Bombos, you do your hookshot check, and you get the false hope for a second.
That happens too many times. Like, oh, surely hookshot cave will bail me out. Nope, it's the other medallion. Guess I'll just go do other checks.
And the good thing for you at that point was that you were kind of bottlenecked again, because after finding out what the Turtle Rock Medallion is and checking the area, you didn't really have much left to check anyway.
No, I think I only had like 4 items left. It was desert. Well, actually, no, 5. I had Maya, desert, and checkerboard and desert ledge. So it was just all in one spot anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only thing that could have knocked you off route there was if you had found those flippers.
Yeah. I mean, if I found flippers before Bombos, I might have gone to Swamp before going back into Maya or something else.
Yeah, so you get to move on now. You'll be entering the bracket at 4 and 3, I believe. So you have to wait out the rest of this week to see what position you'll finish in. How do you feel going into the bracket?
I mean, I'm happy I made it to bracket, considering I'm kind of just clown routing on purpose, so we'll see how far that takes me into the bracket as well.
Yeah. I actually was saying earlier that maybe you'd surprise us all this time and your clown route would be a normal route.
Yeah, we were kind of having some fun with that, but yeah, it was actually pretty interesting to watch both of you routing early, almost doing the same thing one after the other, without a whole lot of divergence. And then of course it turned out that AGA was required. So did you guys note that? You guys note pretty quickly that AGA was required, and that Agina had the lamp once you got through Easter Palace?
I mean, when I opened the chest in Agina, I knew there was a really strong chance that it was the lamp. It might have been an interesting play to just go straight to Aghanim, do it with the fire rod. It's not that bad. Would have maybe saved a little time. I sure wouldn't have gone to pod first then, I don't think, but might have been something to try. I was considering that later in the race, but yeah. Yeah, if I had continued into Skullwoods and if I hadn't died to Helmasaur, maybe I have a chance here. But anyway, I can't be last locationing things. So
Yeah.
GG. I don't know if there are any more questions or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, this unfortunately is going to be the end of the tournament for you. How do you feel coming out of this tournament?
Oh, now I don't have to worry about this anymore. I should still do things like learn how to fight Ganon, but that applies to just about every mode anyway. Looking forward to more interesting tournaments in the future. So,
Yeah, and I know you prefer modes that randomize a bit more, like entrance shuffles and modes, more mystery modes and stuff like that.
yeah, that'll be fun. I don't. It would have been nice to make it to the brackets, just to say I did. But it's not a huge loss. Would have been like 63rd seed or something, and had a ridiculous matchup to start. Jello's not gonna be too much better off, and gonna have a pretty tough road ahead. So, yeah, good luck with that. But no, this tournament has been interesting to watch for sure, and the brackets are going to be really competitive, top to bottom, I think. So that'll be fun.
All right, yeah. Well, thanks for joining us here. Make sure to give our runners a follow. Put on a good race for us here today. Thanks to our tracker, Norse Committee, for tracking for us, and to Neon Tiger for joining me.
Of course, as always, JP, great working with you. And thanks for joining as well. Remember to give JP a follow. Just to give a very, very quick heads up on stuff going on tomorrow. We do have a lot more matches going on tomorrow, starting at 2:10 p.m. Illis and Skupal in Game 2 of their series will be on SpeedGaming 2, and then we have another match at 5:10 between Magna Hands and Pennyroyal Oil on SpeedGaming 2. So that's a Game 3. So that's gonna be a good one. We'll probably. I would not be shocked if we see a hover there from Penny.
I was actually looking at it earlier today, and after this match, with this match done, we now have just 12 spots remaining for the bracket. As many as six of those can be decided tomorrow.
Yes. So we may be heading into the weekend with a mostly full field, and that's just going to make everything really exciting from here on out. So yeah, remember, someone out there loves you. We love you too. Take care of yourselves, everyone. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Till then, see ya.
Good night, everyone.